Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I remember being in the womb since the earliest stages of my life. I always remembered a bright light, a beep sound and a voice talking. I never knew what it was until I became older. The experience only lasted a few seconds, but it was so clear. Basically, the light, the beep sound and the voices were probably an ultrasound examination of my mother. I talked about it with my parents, but they never believed me. I never talked about it with anybody because I knew they would think I'm lying or it was some kind of a dream. End of story. Next story. I'm gonna get the hell out of here tomorrow. I'm currently part of a shitty situation that I will not go into the details of. I do not feel comfortable with releasing information. I'm 16. And my parent has made it clear that they don't want me in the house. I have decided fuck it. I'm gonna hitchhike my way to a city and live homeless for however long is needed. Honestly, I'm just venting. If I ever gain access to Reddit again, I might post an update or something. Heard it's dangerous, but I don't care. Love y'all. JT. End of story. Next story. Existence is pain. I must say that over my life I have dealt with some pretty heavy things. When you say there is pretty much nothing you can do to make an overthinker fall out of love with you, I agree. However, I have experienced 3 things that would. My first fiancé slapped me in the face. And I knew that that wasn't where I was meant to be. The second time, as with my first wife, when I found her in bed with a guy whose name is also Joe. That made me think a lot about myself and what I could have done to make things better. Or make her happier. In reality, the only thing that can make another happy is you being happy with yourself. And at that time in my life I hated myself for putting myself in many of the situations that I was in. Thusly, I was not able to give her the happiness that she lacked. The third time was when my second wife told me there was no reason for her to stay when my disability got dropped. Love, pain, and heartbreak can manifest in very different ways. And I feel in a sense that I've experienced them all. But the only thing that I do know is that I know nothing in respect of all the knowledge in the world. Sure, I admit that I wasn't the best person that I could have been. And I admit that there are things I could have done better. With that being said, nobody is perfect. And we are all at different places in life. The one thing that can be done is realize what place you are in life. What affects the way you perceive the world. And how you in turn affect the world around you. This is the first step to enlightenment and getting to love yourself. End of story. Next story. My loudest and most embarrassing fart ever. Yesterday would be my most embarrassing fart yet. Which took place in my high school bathroom. Okay, it started out like this. While I was in math class, I realized a bloated feeling in my lower abdomen. Which means a fart is likely coming. I held it in hard and ignored it. But it kept coming back. And so it went on for 20 minutes. Until I couldn't take it. Oddly enough, this didn't happen in class. I go up to the teacher to ask to go to the bathroom. To let out my gas. I go to the bathroom. But the problem is there were people in there. So I come up with a plan. I would flush the overly loud toilets. And fart so the toilet would drown the noise out. With the plan in mind, I go into a stall and execute my plan. I flush the toilet, clench my abdomen, and immediately a jet engine-sounding fart echoed across the entire men's restroom. The toilet wasn't loud enough at all. And I was just standing in the stall thinking, school toilets are really loud. How come my fart was louder? I then hear laughs and giggles coming from outside the stall. And I just sat there in pure embarrassment. Fast forward today, it's pretty funny even for me to remember. That fart would be the loudest and most embarrassing of my life. Until later. Edit. Thanks everyone for getting me on trending. I thought this story would have a stupid appeal to everyone. End of story. Next story. The most fucked up thing I've ever done. For the uninitiated, this is one of Da Vinci's Notebook's more well-known songs. Was down in St. Joseph. Mow around noon on Sunday. Have a decent hybrid Ford with a sunroof. Mostly use the car for its MPG. Can just barely squeeze into green parking spaces at work. Much to the dismay of the Tesla drivers there. Fuck them and their fancy 80k plus cars. See people coming out of a church I drove past get a devilish idea. Cue up this song. Open sunroof. Park. Lure people in with the feel-good first half of the song. Kids come out of the building. Oh. Mama didn't raise no bitch. So I just keep my head down and wait. At this point a bunch of kids have gathered to watch a good distance away. Sunday school must have just ended. A couple of parents recognize the song. Immediately start walking over to try and cover their kids' ears. But it's too late. Full volume. Blasting out of my sunroof. I take a look at my ginormous penis and my troubles start a melting away. Trying my hardest not to bust out laughing. See parents pull out cell phones. Immediately pull out of the lot and start driving away. Come to find out the next day, I made it into a local newspaper. They only had the make and model of the car. And some info about the dents and scratches in the side of the car. Nothing else. Now's as good a time as any to get that dent buffed out. I guess. Paranoid for like a week that I'm going to get a court summons or something. Nothing comes of it. I no longer drive past that church. End of story. Next story. When I was in 6th grade, one would fight so much where I went from being bullied to being respected throughout the whole school. So when I was in 3rd, 6th grade. In 10th now. I was bullied so much verbally or physically, and I did tell teachers and my friend who saw it, and all they did was say to stop. Even the most recent one went to the office 4 times and got a slap on the wrist each time. So I thought myself mixed martial arts on my own time and ab 2 months in. By no means was I pro, but I got better, and this kid in the middle of the playground grabbed my hair and forced me to the ground onto my back. So I did it. I kicked it kid in the stomach to get the air out of him. Then I punched him in the nose, knocked him down. Needless to say, he was never nice after that, but at least did not bother me. So the other kid wanted a turn. Let's call him Mike. So we were in the locker room apt to play a basketball game, and Mike tapped me on the shoulder and spit in my face saying, "Nice fight, faggot." I fought him that one time and 7 others won every time. But the crazy part, the school never even gave me detention or anything at all, but a kid got expelled for yelling in the hallway every day at 2 p.m. Honestly, schools, what the hell you get by with? Bullies. People should be allowed to stick up for themselves. But expel someone for yelling in the fucking hallway. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.